I want to spend a moment in this short video looking at how to use an electronic tuner, because several of the lessons on Jerry's Guitar Bar require us to retune the guitar because other guitarists, unfortunately, if it's a pain for you, unfortunately they do often retune their guitar. Sometimes they tune the whole guitar down by a half step or a full step. Guitarists like Neil Young, Paul Simon and others do that quite regularly. So I've got this tuner. It's a Seiko, I forget what model it is, it's the ST757. That doesn't mean that I am endorsing this product. There are many electronic tuners on the market. This is the one I happen to use. I've had it for many years actually now, which is why you can see it's quite dirty. What you want is to make sure that you order an electronic chromatic tuner. Many of them these days clamp onto the headstock of your guitar here and will continually show you whether you're in tune all the way through your performance, which is very useful. I've actually got one of those on order right now, but I've still got my old trusty Seiko as well. Now, this one has five actually buttons, and yours will have something similar. Power will switch it on and off. Key, when we come to it, we'll see what we need to do with key. You need to make sure it's in C. This is for tuning other instruments other than guitars that are not in standard tuning, let me say it that way. Things like saxophones follow a different tuning standard, which obviously we don't need to worry about right now. Then we've got pitch, which is very important. We'll come and talk about that when we get there. And then notes, which I never use. Somebody can tell me what that does. I don't think it does anything that I've ever needed anyway in many years of playing the guitar. And mode is about whether you want it in automatic or manual mode. And you want to set it so that whether it shows automatic or manual on yours doesn't matter, but make sure that when you play a string, the tuner recognizes the note and the lights light up or the needle moves. I'm going to show you that now by pressing power to switch it on. And it's difficult for me to see in the camera, but I think you can see there that it came on. The needle has appeared here. Now the question is, when I play a note, does anything register? And the answer is yes, it does. You see the light up. I've deliberately put my guitar out of tune so we can tune it using the tuner. But if that doesn't happen for you, the lights are lighting up now, by the way, because I'm talking. But if that doesn't happen for you, then press this button, mode, or whatever button is doing the same job on your tuner. And when it registers when you play a note, you know you've got it in the right setting. All right, let's talk about the other buttons. Key we talked about. All you need to know about key is, can you see here, let me see if I can do this, can you see that it says C here, key of C? That's what you want. That's because we're in a standard tuned instrument. The other options will be for things like, as I said before, saxophones, clarinets, instruments that tune to a different pitch. It's weird, it's a musical thing, don't even worry about it. Just make sure that on your tuner it says C. Then we've got pitch. Now this is really important. I'm going to press this now. Let's see if we can see what it shows. Can you see it flashes? It briefly flashed on 440. I'm going to do it again. 440. Now that means that I'm correct. If 440 is hertz, it's the frequency that musical instruments are tuned off or tuned from. We use 440 hertz as the base. I'm not a physicist, I've got no idea what that really means. I just know that that number needs to be 440. So make sure on your tuner when you press pitch, or the equivalent, I think it's probably going to say pitch on just about every tuner, that it's set to 440. The final button, note, we won't worry about. We should find that we're ready to tune the guitar. What I do at this point is I then put the tuner on my knee right in front of the guitar, like this. Can you see in the left-hand window there? Here's obviously the guitar. The tuner is on my knee, and actually I'm touching the wood of the guitar with it. I want it to really register the notes. When I show you how to use it, I'm going to take it away and put it back in the window for you to see, but that's where I would put it if I'm actually tuning the guitar. Now I'm going to put it back in the window and hope that it registers the sound of the notes from this distance. Here it is. Because I've got it in this automatic mode by using the green mode button, I'm going to play the first string, which should be out of tune because I've tweaked the tuning of the guitar, and we'll see what the needle and the lights do. Okay, so the needle moves a tiny bit, and the light, this light lights up, showing that the note is flat. This symbol next to it means flat, but basically what we want to do is we're trying to get to a point where both lights will light up simultaneously and the needle lands in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put the tuner down for a moment because I haven't got three hands. I can't play the note and tune and hold the tuner. Now, in that little gap, I've retuned the first string, and now I'm going to play it again. And you can see both lights light up, the needle goes to the middle, and I want to take a moment to talk about this number in the middle here that says cent, or something like that, cents. This is the very, very fine gradation of exactly how you've got the note tuned. Now, in a perfect world, you want this to show 0, 0. If it shows -1, -2, +1, +2, you're probably broadly okay as long as both the lights are still lighting. But aim for 0, 0. Let me try the note again, see if we can see that happening. Okay, now I can't see exactly what the sense said at that point, but both lights lit up and the needle went to the middle. That looks pretty good to me. The second string, though, won't be. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it's sharp. You see the other light is lighting. I'm going to put that in tune and come back. Because it was sharp, I needed to tune that note down. I'm now going to play the second string again, having tuned it. And you can see that broadly speaking, it's in the middle. That should be fine. What about the third string, the G string? Notice, by the way, as we do this, what we haven't mentioned before is that this note is going to change here. Yes, this note is going to change. It will change to the closest note that it can find to the note that you're playing. So it should show G, but it should not be in the middle. And it's not, it's flat. It says G, but it's flat. So we've got the right note, but we've got to tune up. I'll do that right now. Now I've tuned up the G string because it was showing flat. Let's try it again. And there, basically it's okay. Let's try it again. It's broadly okay. It might be a tiny bit flat. In a perfect world, I would probably tweak that again very slightly. Let's have a look at the fourth string, the D string. You see the note on the tuner shows D, but it's sharp. Let me tune that string down and try again. Okay, just a couple of seconds later, I've done that. Here it is. Both lights are lighting. The needle's in the middle. That D string, the fourth string, is in tune. What about the fifth string? It's sharp. You see that? The needle's gone too far and the sharp light is shining. I'm going to tune this string down just a little bit. Now I've done it, we'll play the note. We should see the note A appear in the corner of the screen and hopefully both lights light up. Well, it thinks it's still a tiny bit flat. Do you see that? Let me go back and try that again. I think, having tried that again, that actually it's just because of the distance I am from the tuner now. It actually seems to be okay. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, that'll work for me. I never mind if the cents are -1 or +1. Essentially, that's so close to the middle, it's not worth worrying about. Don't obsess about getting it to exactly 0. There are some guitarists who deliberately tune to different cents, but that's a whole other topic. We could get to that in another video. That just leaves us with the sixth string. It should show E, but it should be out of tune. And it does show E, but it also shows that it's really very flat. So let me tune this one up. It thinks it's a little bit flat. Let me tune it up a tiny bit more. Okay, now we should be pretty close. Well, look at that. This is something to do with the distance of the guitar from the tuner. There it is, because when I put that on my knee, it shows as in tune. Obviously, you would never normally, it doesn't like it this far away on the low E string. Obviously, you'd never normally tune your guitar, you know, I don't know, as close as maybe, you know, half a yard, a couple of feet even away from the guitar. You'd never be this far away from the guitar with your tuner. But anyway, I'm pretty happy that E is in tune. One more time. Yeah, okay, not quite according to that distance, but we won't worry about it. All right, I should have the guitar in tune there. What I always do at this point is I turn the tuner off at that point and I test it. And I test it with a 6-string chord. I like to use E, major or minor, and I'll come up the strings from 1 to 6. And really at this point I'm simply using my ear. Is anything in there sound out of tune? And I'm happy that that is all completely in tune, including that 6th string that looked a bit strange when we were testing it a moment ago. I also test the chord G, because the guitar's a funny instrument and sometimes you can have notes that are not fretted, like that open 6th string on an E chord, that can sound out of tune when you fret them, like the 3rd fret of the 6th string on a G chord. But I would be happy with that. That sounds like my guitar is in tune to me, and at that point I would let it go. I'm going to do one more video in this series which will be showing you how you come from here to retune or downtune your guitar.